My 38 male girlfriend, 40 female, cheated on me with a coworker in a courthouse. Should I inform his wife? My 38 male girlfriend, 40 female, and I are both lawyers. I'm a partner in a law firm. She's a district attorney prosecuting sex crimes. Her office is at the local county courthouse. We have been in a relationship for a year and a half. We have no children together, but she has 2 children from a prior marriage. She had previously told me that she had flirted with his coworker, which I thought was relatively harmless. Yesterday, she informed me that she became intoxicated during lunch and proceeded to, in a conference room at the courthouse, watch her coworker, another prosecutor, masturbate. She also indicated that she pulled her pants down while doing it. While she immediately told me about it, this was a complete violation of our boundaries and my trust. I feel incredibly violated and hurt in every imaginable way. I'm also very concerned as her paramour just got married. I do have the contact information of his wife, via LinkedIn, and am considering disclosing the affair to her. I am just so sick of the deceit and want to prevent her from dealing with what I have. They do not have children yet, so I would view this as an opportune time to inform her, though I am concerned about the ramifications. For instance, if she informs my girlfriend's superior about what happened in the courthouse, they both may lose their jobs. As much as I don't like what my girlfriend did to me, in mitigation she did tell me immediately and apologize. So I'm not sure how to proceed forward with that situation, but I am considering my options. I do not want her to lose her job or endanger her career prospects. However, my central issue is whether or not to inform the wife of my girlfriend's paramour. I know that if I was in her situation, I would want someone to inform me, but I want to avoid being petty and causing unnecessary issues. Thanks in advance. Edit. Thank you all for the thoughtful responses. I really appreciate it and most likely will be informing her. Edit 2. I informed my girlfriend that her affair partner, think that's the right acronym, needs to inform his wife of exactly what occurred. If I don't receive confirmation that he has done this, with appropriate proofs, within the next day, I will be reaching out to her. Edit 3. I told her. Edit 4. I initially reached out to her on LinkedIn. She responded immediately and gave me her number. We spoke for a while. She disclosed that they had a 6-month-old, of which I was unaware, and she suspected something has been going on for a while and that I violated her concerns. She really appreciated me telling her. Alright, let's dive into the community reactions. Icy Barracuda 5326 starts us off. Yes, she is currently living in a lie forced on her by someone else. That same person just came into your life and your significant other forced you into that same lie. Don't be an accessory to the lie. Have integrity. Our next response comes from OKLog8883. Integrity? He's a lawyer. Basic Quantity 9430 says, lawyers suck until you need one. Then they are your best friend and guiding light. They are people just like us. There are highly ethical ones and ones that are scumbags. Putch80 chimes in, lawyer here. Everyone always whines and bitches about lawyers until they need one. Suddenly, all the complaints about lawyers being ruthless or lacking integrity go out the door, and that person demands the lawyer be the most cutthroat SOB alive. Our profession is a direct reflection of the clients we serve. You want lawyers to be more friendly? To have more integrity? Then look in the mirror and reevaluate how you direct us to serve your interests. Fragrant Spray chimes in next. Yes, while your girlfriend may try to paint this as a petty, you understand that this is what you would want if you were in the other woman's shoes. It is still the right thing to do. This isn't about your girlfriend, it's about the other betrayed partner. Also, don't be surprised if you're getting the trickle truth. Able Dress 1678 chimes in next. I also think the DA getting drunk at lunch deserves some consideration here. I am thinking the other betrayed partner telling her boss is probably a good thing. Next up is Tell Me More Lies. But I want to avoid being petty and causing unnecessary issues. Avoid being petty? I hardly think so. What you are protecting her and her boyfriend, yes, she has another boyfriend, from is actually called consequences for their immoral behavior and actions of getting drunk during lunch. This in itself should be sending you red flags. And mutually masturbating, which by the way, I don't believe for a second they stopped here. Teenagers fool around like this. Adults have sex when faced with the opportunity. Unnecessary issues? Let me get this straight. They work together, have lunch together, get drunk together, masturbate together, and you're concerned with causing unnecessary issues? Do you see how effed up this line of thought is? You're not causing unnecessary issues. They are creating these issues. You are just putting these issues out there where they can be addressed. You are not responsible for her behavior and actions. Emergency ad 3355 chimes in next. I would say yes, tell his wife, but at the same time, I would question your girlfriend's ethics. She is working as a DA and did this in the courthouse. What kind of person is she when she does something like this at her workplace? She very well could or should lose her job along with all the others involved. Next up, sometimes I am lost thinks, I agree. What is happening here? A 38-year-old man masturbating in a public place and then a drunk 40-year-old female prosecutor pulls down her pants? What the F? Are they 13 years old? These two are a bit damaged. As a taxpayer, yes, this prosecutor needs to be disciplined. For the OP, has your wayward wife cheating on you in the past? Are you also concerned about her drinking in the middle of the day? Also, why did her first marriage end? Since she has 2 kids, she appears to not have good judgment. I hope you are breaking this off. Do you really want to be associated with someone like this? She told you, but it will not stop, and trust me, if you do not tell, it will come out and it will become big news in your area. Anything that has to do with taxpayer money and the law, this is going to be bad. I am sorry you're dealing with this. You sound like a decent guy. Taking on a girlfriend with 2 kids. She sounds like a car crash and will try and drive away and crash again. Best. Next thought from Switch SCE to AUX. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. The good news is she told you about it immediately, which means that she's showing real remorse. The bad news is that it happened at all. Big question to answer. She's a district attorney who is drunk at noon on a Monday? This seems like a big red flag. Be honest with yourself. Is this an ongoing issue or a one-time thing? Based on this data point, I assume she's an alcoholic or abuses alcohol to the point where it damages her relationships. If so, then she needs to deal with that in therapy or group meetings. On to the next adventure. TLDR, I'm 99% sure she's cheating. So, I live with my best friend and her husband. And when I say best friend, I don't mean someone I've known for a few years. I've literally known her my entire life. We're super close and tell each other pretty much everything. But I feel like I can't tell her this. Not yet. Her husband, who has a history of being less than faithful, is cheating. I'm almost certain, and part of what makes me certain, I can't really say. I did check her phone when I had the chance, and their messages are very blah, but I always see him on his phone texting and giggling. I've caught him taking selfies at home, but none of them I saw on her phone. In his free time, when they're both home, he doesn't really go near her until bedtime. In fact, he'll go into another room a few minutes after she comes in. He'll say he has to go all the way into their room to charge his phone, but it's not like his phone charger is stationary. I know they have some issues, but she's basically helped him build his entire life from the ground up. She got his credit in amazing shape, helped him get a car. He works a well-paying job, but he's struggling with depression and I think he's straying to help himself feel better. Which would be fine if they were in an open relationship or he just left. But I know he won't because she does everything for him while he claims to not know how. She takes good care of him and keeps his and all of our lives in check, even when she's spiraling down her own mental hole. Recently, he started doing things to better himself. He's quit smoking, started cleaning up his mess in their room, wants to take better care of his skin. He dyed his hair and got a nice haircut. He wants to start working out and eating better even though he's already in shape. And I am very sure all of this is for the other woman. As my friends have been telling me these new resolutions, I've been trying to hint that maybe he's doing it for someone else. I do make it kind of light, but try to also hold a concerned tone. I just don't know how to tell her, or if I should just outright say it. I want to tell her to confront him, but he's lied semi-successfully in the past. I want to tell her to check his phone when he's not thinking about it, because that's also been semi-successful, but it's also led to a blowout. I know she'd be devastated if she found out. I honestly don't know if she could handle it. She's been trying to have a baby while he's been barely trying. She wants to do great things to help people, and he seems to only care about himself. If she found out, I honestly think it would be the last straw for her. I hate having this weight on me with no one to ask or talk to. Any friends we have would tell her if they knew, but they also don't know the extent of her mental issues or their relationship. Not like I do after living with them for 8 years. I guess this post is half seeking advice, half needing to get this out because it's killing me. I also may or may not have texted him from a burner number asking if his wife knows he's cheating, but he thinks it's just a scam. I hope that's just a front and he's panicking and will finally nut up and tell her himself. Edit. I feel like I should delete this because I wasn't able to fully convey the length and details of my relationship with my friend or her husband. I also haven't been able to convey the home dynamic the three of us share, and a lot of comments have made me jealous. She's basically my sister, and he's a borderline emotionally abusive, previously unfaithful person, so no jealousy there. Also, this is our house. It's not them letting me live here. I'm not lucky enough to just pay them rent and have a room. No, we're all on the lease. All paid equal parts for the deposit. All pay rent and bills split equally. This is my house as much as it is theirs. Also, while she is the one who keeps us all in check, I am the one in charge of making sure things are paid. Half the bills are in my name. I keep track of due dates, amounts, collect their portions, and pay the bills. And again, I've known her my entire life, and she is basically my sister, and him, I've known probably 18 years? I know them and I know their relationship. She's told me pretty much everything there is to know. The last time she caught him talking to his ex, she made him tell me, in detail, what the messages were. It's not my relationship, but it is my friend and my home. I'm basically the second wife without the sex or marriage. This is still very much the Cliff Notes version, and I'm not trying to dump every single telling detail about myself into this post. Our first reaction comes from Troll City. Please tell her. A beautiful soul does not deserve the disrespect she's getting. I beg you. Don't let her kill herself trying to help a piece of trash like him. Edit. Let her know in secret and get his phone to go through her the messages. Sorry. Next thought from Future Mess 6934. If roles were reversed, wouldn't you want her to tell you? I always look at things from that perspective. As a woman who is currently dealing with a cheating man, I would want my friend to tell me if they knew something was up. That way, I could assess the situation myself and see what's really going on. Map Substantial 2845 says, my opinion and from a girl's point of view, if you were my best friend, I'd want to know regardless. Either way, one way or another, she's gonna put two and two together, or sense that you're off because you're holding back from telling her. Do her a favor and be the best friend she needs and has, and tell her that that's happening. The OP replies, I mean, she already asked if I was okay today. I struggle with depression and it's starting to get bad again, partially from having this weight heavy on my mind. So she probably already knows something is off, and she's already feeling like something is off with him. I've told her every time he's been crap or treated her less than stellar that she needs to leave him. She doesn't because she fears she'll be alone forever if she does. I also fear if I tell her and she confirms he is cheating, that she'd just stay with him. It'd eventually blow over for several reasons, and then just happen again a few years down the line. It's already happened once before when he was caught sexting with his ex. Golden Eagle 41 has the next thought. So I've seen this play out a few times. You tell her without real proof and he talks his way out of it. They stay together and now you have this awkward situation. This is probably what would happen because he had cheated before and they are still together. You tell her and they end up working it out and stay together. Once again, you are in the awkward situation again. You tell her and she just flat out doesn't believe you or doesn't want to believe you. Then you are in a bad situation at that point. You tell her and you are just wrong. Then you are the bad guy and your friendship will never be the same. Or you could just keep your mouth shut and let it all unwind and be the best friend someone could have once it falls apart. I just think that without proof, you are setting yourself up to hurt your friendship. Also, you have no right to snoop around on anyone's phone or area, so you really need to leave that alone. You probably should leave their relationship alone as well and let them work it out. If you actually saw him with someone or something, then yes, you probably should tell her. But right now, you are trying to involve yourself in a marriage. Now, it seems like you have made up your mind and are going to do something. You could always just point out the weird things he is doing and just play stupid asking what's up with him. I still think it's meddling in a marriage, but maybe she does need to see things she is not paying attention to or sees. Just realize, if you tell her and they stay together, this will really damage your friendship. Moving on. Should I be worried? Been dating my girlfriend for about 6 months. I don't know if I'm paranoid or have a reason to be concerned. Also, I just need to write this down to order my thoughts. Met over the summer. First 2 dates were great. We really clicked. Conversation was easy, free-flowing, an intoxicating mix of humor, personal, sharing opinions. Finished the second date making out near her bus stop. We had planned a third date, but she canceled early that day. I got a little worried and went a bit cold, although she had suggested meeting on Sunday. We didn't end up meeting. We were due to meet up again 2 weeks later before she was due to go home for the holidays. She told me on Monday we could meet on Thursday or Friday and would let me know Tuesday. In the end, she didn't let me know till last minute, and it didn't happen. I got angry and said I wouldn't accept being dropped at the last minute. She apologized sincerely. We said we'd talk when she returned from visiting her family a few weeks' time. Fast forward 2 weeks. She returns, says she wants to meet 2 days after, has brought presents. We meet that evening, end up sleeping together for the first time. The next 3 weeks we meet every weekend, and things are going well. Great sex, very enjoyable time together, fun, easygoing. Everything seems to be going great. The next 2 weekends, I'm due to be out of town, but I try to make time on Thursday evenings. Each attempt is rebuffed out of hand with, "I'm busy." The second weekend in particular, she's very hard to get a hold of. She doesn't return my calls. I have an uneasy feeling in my gut. When I'm back in town, she messages me on the Monday to say hi. We talked Tuesday. She said she went out and got very drunk that weekend, lost her phone. She had already bought a new one. She said at one point she ended up dancing with a guy, but her friend intervened. She could tell I was unhappy, but in the moment, like that, I tend to freeze a bit, and it takes me time to understand my feelings. The next day, I tell her we need to talk. She said she'd be busy that evening, but I told her this was important and that she needed to make time. She did. I told her I didn't like what had happened, asked if she was seeing other people. She said no to this. She told me she was getting cold feet, was starting to feel attachment, and was unsure. She said the fact we hadn't discussed whether we were in a relationship or not was a blocker to her. I hadn't planned to bring up the topic of a relationship. I simply wanted to understand her actions. I would have walked away if she had said she was seeing other people, or if anything had happened with that guy. She seemed credible when she said they'd only ended up dancing briefly. Anyway, I said I was interested in a relationship, but expected better communication, blah blah blah. In my head, however, the cynical side was telling me, it's a nice story to tell someone that the reason I'm avoiding you and your calls is because I realize I like you. My gut feeling, though, said she was being genuine. Also, I am anxious in relationships. I'm aware I can be prone to worrying too much. I decided to trust. Anyway, since then, we've shared more about previous relationships. She hasn't had many, and sexually, she seems to lack experience, which makes me think she's not been a complete player. On the other hand, I have the feeling she's often courted other guys' attention a lot simply for validation. Seems to have had a string of pen pals on social media. On one hand, I appreciate her openness about some of her past behavior. I too can look back on interactions I've had with women where I regret leading them on or giving false hope, etc. On the other hand, I wonder sometimes whether I am the next in line of a bunch of schmucks that she's led on to fuel her ego or get some validation before kicking to the curb. Since we spoke about being in a relationship, things have been good on the whole, but there is still some behavior that makes me uneasy. I know there are guys in her friendship circle who wanted to get with her before. She says there was never anything. I tend to believe her, but sometimes I have my doubts. Cases in point. There's a guy in her group who I know has tried to get with her on multiple occasions, and she says he's a player, though he cohabits with his girlfriend. Apparently, when he saw us together the first time, he really got upset and was asking all kinds of questions about who I was, etc. He's made other advances in the meantime, going so far as to see he'd leave his girlfriend to get with her, or suggesting spending Christmas together. I told my girlfriend I did not like her describing him as a friend. Fine if he's your extended circle, but this guy would cheat on his girlfriend to get with her. Not trustworthy. Attenuating factors here. I met this guy at a party. He seemed very uneasy around me, almost intimidated, like he was trying to impress me. Girlfriend seemed at ease. I sensed little or nothing between them, although I was observing for signs of complicity. Recently, she was at a party with friends. I received a message from her which was quickly deleted. Never saw what it was. I didn't hear much from her that weekend. She said the next day it was a bad quality pic. I recently felt ill, so we couldn't meet for a couple of weeks. When I suggested meeting on Saturday, she said one of her friends was having a party she wanted to go to. She saw I was disappointed. I was. We hadn't met in a few weeks, and I had been home all alone, recovering from COVID. She followed up with, "Look, you're sick anyway. We see each other every week, but maybe you can convince me." Again, I froze a bit in the moment and was like, well, look, what the hell do you want me to say to that? Next day, I called and said I really didn't appreciate what she said, and she replied that she was joking with me. I replied it was clear she upset me. Why did you have to continue? In the end, she didn't go to the party anyway. She came to see me the following day. She told me the girlfriend of a guy friend dislikes her because she thinks she's a threat. She volunteered this information to me, though, without me seeing or hearing anything, so I'm not overly concerned about this. I know this is long. I'm not sure if my girlfriend is simply a flawed person like the rest of us, who sure was flirting or talking to other guys in her circle before we met, but now is just the aftermath and it's nothing really to worry about. Are the stories she shares of her past just her being transparent, or is there more here I should really worry about? I vacillate on this. I've asked before if she has any exes in her current circle, and she said no. I wasn't sure if it was a valid question to ask at first, but I feel more justified with time. If there are, I want to make sure boundaries are being respected, etc. Sometimes I feel great about this girl, but other times I really feel like I'm the loser in this relationship. I'm just not sure if it's reality or my anxiety. If truth be told, if I could go through her phone to check on one or two chats, I would. If you read this far, tell me what you think. Our first response from Zoku Locke. Honestly, sounds like you don't have much to worry about. Sounds like you might be a little paranoid, which is understandable. The best thing you can do is have a rational conversation with her to ease your paranoia. The next thought comes from Director 20530. I cannot be certain, but I think you are the side piece. You are definitely not a priority, and she only wants to be with you when it's convenient. In my opinion, you should invest your time and attention on someone else. Red Rain 007 closes us out. Look, OP, what I see is that you do all of the liftings. Let her do the work too. If she wants to be exclusive with you, she will. What I have learned is that if a woman likes you, she will make free time for you. Don't walk after her. Actions speak louder than words. Look at her actions. There are a lot of wonderful women out there waiting for you to spend their best time with you. And you should consider your situation too. Life is too short to spend with a person who doesn't value you.